If you're already concerned about the direction of the United States, I don't know that today's program is going to make you feel that much better. We had two major rallies in the United States this weekend, each more depraved than the last. We had the March for Life anti-abortion rally, which we're going to get to. We also had the anti-vaccine Defeat the Mandates rally in Washington, D.C. And this rally was headlined, and this makes me really sad because I know the guy, very nice guy in private, not a dumb guy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who, as some of you know, I've had dinner with in a small group, and is someone that through environmental lawyers I know is kind of in my circle. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. headlining the Defeat the Mandates rally in Washington, D.C., and saying that vaccine mandates are worse than the Nazi Holocaust. I mean, this really is tough to watch. The context of this rally, before we get to the clip, is that this was supposedly an anti-mandate rally, not an anti-vax rally. But a lot of the people there are historically anti-vax. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., at one point I tuned in and there was a woman talking about vaccines causing autism. I mean, for all the claims that they're only against the mandates, it was all of the typical anti-vax stuff. Dr. Robert Malone was there, Dr. Peter McCullough, sort of a who's who of Joe Rogan guests. And I'm going to play this clip for you. And this is maybe one of the most disgusting things I've seen. And it's particularly disturbing because this is a guy I know who I had dinner with once, and he seemed completely connected to reality. So here is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Listen to this clip going viral yesterday. Take a look.
Even in Hitler's Germany, you could cross the Alps into Switzerland. You can hide in an attic like Anne Frank did. I visited in 1962 East Germany with my father and met people who had climbed the wall and escaped. So it was possible. Many died doing it, but it was possible. Today, the mechanisms are being put in place that will make it so none of us can run and none of us can.
This is absolutely unconscionable and disgusting. Now, it's also historically inaccurate in the sense that they got Anne Frank and her family and killed her. So she was only even if you concede the completely disgusting, vile trivialization of the Holocaust, and you put aside 10 different things, they got Anne Frank. Anne Frank couldn't hide at the end of the day. They got her and they got her family and they killed her. But what is the obsession here with trivializing the trauma of the Holocaust? Vaccine requirements to get your kid in school are like when the Nazis killed the Jews, conducted disgusting medical experiments on them, imprisoned them in work camps, gassed Jews. That's like when a school says, for everybody's safety, little Joey's got to get a few vaccines. And there was a very good tweet from the Auschwitz Memorial Museum account saying, quote, exploiting of the tragedy of people who suffered, were humiliated, tortured, and murdered by the totalitarian regime of Nazi Germany, including children like Anne Frank, in a debate about vaccines and limitations during global pandemic, is a sad symptom of moral and intellectual decay. And understand that Bobby Kennedy's not even just exploiting the tragedy of the Holocaust. He's saying it wasn't as bad as what's, quote, happening to them now. And of course, nothing is happening. Now, I want to play a couple other parts of this. Let me just play it and then I'll comment, because there's also some other interpretations. There's some other aspects to this.
Hide. Within 5 years, we're going to see 415,000 low orbit satellites.
Wait, what?
Bill Gates says his 65,000 satellites alone will be able to look at every square inch of the planet 24 hours a day.
We already can, by the way.
They're putting in 5G to harvest our data and control our behavior. Digital currency that will allow them to punish us from a distance and cut off our food supply.
So it's like he goes into other conspiracies. This is where Bobby Kennedy's intelligence actually comes through. It sounds like he's doing all of the same conspiracies that a lot of the anti-vaxxers do, 5G and government control and all these different things. But if you listen, he's actually being really careful, because even when he talks about 5G, he's like, they're going to be able to harvest our data and control our behavior. He's not actually saying the stuff the 5G people say about neurological control. He's sort of saying like 5G has more bandwidth and thus it'll be easier to harvest data about our activities online and then use that to guide us to buy certain products. Or like, but my point here is he seems to know that that part is total BS, and he's like stopping short and using coded language that sort of sounds like the conspiracy, but really isn't. Same thing with cryptocurrency. Like they're going to use cryptocurrency to kill our supply chain. That he's virtue signaling to the conspiracy theorists who are buying his book and making it #1 on Amazon and whatever else, the book about Dr. Fauci, if you can imagine. But that, when I see that, is when I think this may be to some degree a little bit of a grift, and he may not believe everything he's saying doesn't make it any less damaging. And we have to condemn this disgusting stuff. Many appeals to violence from the crowd goers. If you looked in the crowd, the signs people were holding, there was one that said, "Shoot those who try to kidnap and vaccinate your child." And that quotes Exodus 21:16, which reads, quote, "Anyone who kidnaps someone is to be put to death." Okay. Lots of Holocaust trivialization. People with the Stars of David, some of them, some call them Jewish stars. They were all over the place. We have one on the screen for you. And then a really bizarre moment, some of the musical entertainment. There's like a sort of dance thing that was going on. It did look like the person dancing was having a stroke or a medical event of some kind. Like every aspect of this was insane. Let me just play this for you. If you're not watching today, if you're just listening, just imagine someone appearing to have a stroke. All fulfilled with love. All with love. All with love. Okay. Anyway, hopefully they did get medical help for that individual if needed. Disgusting rally, and really a sign that things are not going very well in this country. And then we've got the other rally to talk about. One of our sponsors is Athletic Greens, which makes comprehensive daily nutrition really simple. People are busy. We're not always getting effective, balanced nutrition from the food we eat. We sometimes are combining all sorts of different vitamins, supplements, different things that may be relevant to us. AG1 by Athletic Greens is a delicious drink that just simplifies the entire thing. It's one product. You get all of the things you need, 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients. It's a multivitamin, it's a multi-mineral, it's a probiotic, green food blend in one daily serving. Really easy, high quality, bioavailable ingredients can fill those nutritional gaps in your diet, and they can help with gut health and digestion and support you in other ways. And they can replace multiple products and pills that you might be taking. It's just one drink, really simple. I've been enjoying the AG1 drink by Athletic Greens. Tastes good, helps me get everything I'm trying to get. Athletic Greens is giving my audience a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase when you go to athleticgreens.com/Pacman. The link is in the podcast notes.